Hello, 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 family. Welcome to Your Lane Talk Show. I'm your host, Coach Trish Hannah. It is so wonderful to be in your company once again on this beautiful Sunday. Listen, if you are tuning into this show for the very first time, let me tell you, we are 3 years in and we are 2 months in on Guardian Talk Radio, and it is a delight to be here. Your Lane Talk Show was purposed to encourage, empower, and encourage and educate women of all ages. I gone blank for 2 seconds. Of all ages. And listen, these, even though we have had or proposed to have or set out to have, I should say, women listeners only, we don't. I can tell you we don't. We've had men who tune in, who always tuning in, those who come to me on the food store. Hey, you're Coach Trish. Hey, I love you. I love it. I love this. I hope my wife listens to this. Sometimes I have the video, the volume tune up, and I make sure she listens and she tuning in. So for the men that are tuning in, kudos to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So we're not going to limit our conversations just to men. If you notice, since I have been on Guardian Talk Radio, all of my topics have been gender neutral. We have been saying things, even though it's for women, men were able to grasp, men were able to call in, and men were able to state, this is my opinion about the matter. This is my views on the matter. So we want to thank you and want to welcome you. So I don't even think I'm going to moving forward, I don't even think I want to just say just for the women. So let's just open it up and say men and women can tune in and they can call in and they can win prizes, what y'all been doing anyway, on this show, on Your Lane Talk Show. Okay. Now, this particular series we started, it's called Won't He Do It? And so for every Sunday, what we do is we have women and men, obviously, because there's a couple last week, to come in and they share about their testimonies. We share about the real stories of how God has brought them through what should have taken them out. Okay. And if this is your first time, like I said before, welcome, because what we're doing is we want to ensure that people who tune in, they have, a little bit of, hey, I'm not the only one going through this. Somebody else been there. You want to feel that, hey, if that person can endure this, then I can endure this too. All right. So come tune in, man, because we're talking about domestic abuse today. But last week we had with us Dion and Katrina Conliffe. This is a couple who've endured the testing of their marriage due to abuse and church abuse, if I need to say anything more. And that's because they had pastors at their church, the church that they went to, a previous church, who manipulated them to the point where they almost divorced or separated. The pastor wanted to get in between their marriage, saying things to the husband to cause him to, to want to neglect his wife, his home, to be in the church and serve in the church while the wife is just at home or visiting another church. Don't mind. Anyway, we can talk about that another time. If you want to hear about that particular show, it's episode 140. I survived church hurt. Okay, you can go on YouTube, Coach Trish Hannah, or you can go onto the Guardian app. That's episode 140 on the Guardian app, and you can listen to it there. All right, but today's episode of the Won't He Do It series is titled I Survived Domestic Abuse. Now, before I get into everything, I want to let y'all know, for those who may not know what domestic abuse is, it's also called domestic violence. And there's a pattern of behavior in which one person in a relationship tries to control, intimidate, or harm the other. It can happen in marriages, dating relationships, or between family members. And it includes several types of abuse. We have physical abuse. That's with the hitting, the slapping, the punching, the choking, all this other stuff. We got verbal abuse with the name calling, when they're calling people outside of your name, when they, saying things when they ain't supposed to be saying all the insults and humiliating people in public, the constant criticism, etc. We have emotional abuse, which is in manipulation, threats, controlling behavior, isolation from friends and family, or gaslighting. Y'all know about that, right? Making the victim doubt their reality. We have sexual abuse, which is any non-consensual consensual sexual contact or behavior. And then, of course, believe it or not, we have Financial abuse, controlling a partner's access to money or resources to limit their independence. And guess what? Can I tell you? We have these things going on in this country, believe it or not. I've heard the stories. I don't have enough shows for the amount of stories that I've heard. I'm trying my best to cover as many as I possibly can, but I can tell you these are happening, especially the last one with financial abuse, where you have people who are in marriages where their husbands are controlling their money. And there's one person in particular, this particular show was what is coming up. She don't even want her face to be on the screen, all right, but she wanted to share her issues with financial abuse, where whenever she gets paid, her husband takes the money. This is happening in our country. Oh my God. Listen, we can tune into that. Y'all tune into that show when that show comes, all right? um Domestic abuse is about power and control, not love. All right. It can happen to anyone, regardless of gender, age, race, or socioeconomic status. And it often leaves deep emotional and physical scars. And I want you to know that we have a guest here today who went through years of physical and verbal abuse from her ex-husband, but she's here today alive, free, and on fire for God. Her testimony is raw, it's powerful, and it's going to remind you that there's no pit too deep, no pain too heavy, and no chain too strong for God to break. I have to say that. I had to say that because there's some people who believe that they can't get out of their domestic situation. They believe that if they stay within that, that means that that person is going to change at some point, and they love them no matter what, and they only hit me once or twice. That's all right, because at the end of the day, they still taking me out on Sundays to go get ice cream. Oh, okay, tune in. All right. There are lots of ways that we can be heard today. We got Guardian 96.9 FM dial. We have channel 969 on cable. We have BTC Flow channel 612, the Guardian radio app for those who have the Android or Apple, and on the website, guardiantalkradio.com. You can also watch us on Facebook, Your Lane Life Coaching, or on YouTube, Coach Trish Hannah Live. All right. Now, the question of the day is, why do you think so many people stay silent about abuse? Let's talk about that. Why do you think that so many people stay silent in and about abuse, especially those who are presently in it, and I don't know if I can't say that they don't want to seek help, but they don't go and seek help. All right. Why do you think that is? Now, the number to call, the numbers are 422-GR96. That's WhatsApp. So you could WhatsApp your answer, or 323-6232. You can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, or 325-4259. And for those who are on Facebook, yes, you can come ahead. You can actually state your answer on Facebook as well. Okay, so you have an opportunity to speak. And thank you so much for those who are tuning in on Facebook. I see your messages. Thank you so much. So why do you think, I'm going to ask this question again. Why do you think so many people stay silent about abuse, especially the ones who are in it? All right. I want to hear from you all today. So while we're doing that, all right, I want to say that a special thank you to our sponsors for episode 141. Won't He Do It Part 2? This is I Survived Domestic Abuse. And the sponsors for the day are Your Lane Life Coaching, John's Shoe Store and Accessories, Emmanuel Medical Center, Airwick, distributed by Thompson Trading, Lysol, distributed by Thompson Trading, and Tropical Gyros. Thank you so much to my sponsors. Now, we are honored to welcome a remarkable woman of strength and resilience. Her name is Hina Simmons. Now, Hina was born in Nairobi, Kenya, and Hina holds both a bachelor's and master's of science degree in biology. She was married for 22 years and is the proud mother of 3 boys and 1 girl. Just want to make sure, because Charlotte, if you look at her, you wouldn't think she had no children. Okay, after many seasons, Hina separated from her husband in 2023 and just recently finalized her divorce this month. Wow, I don't even know what to say about that, because we're going to talk about that in a minute. I don't want to say anything out of the way. That's a moment right there for me. Today, she is courageously sharing her story of survival, healing, and hope following years of physical and verbal abuse. You're a strong woman. You are a strong woman. Get ready to be inspired by her powerful testimony of walking through pain and coming into freedom. And I salute you even for your the courage to come on and speak. Yeah. So welcome, Hina. Welcome to your Lane Talk Show.
Thank you.
So, just a little icebreaker for you. Now, I read that you have your bachelor's and master's degree in science, right, and biology. So, um, I want to know because of your impressive academic journey. Because, child, I failed. I used to, I loved biology in high school, but when I went into UB, which was COB at that time, I completely failed biology. I was like, what in the world? But because of your love for it, obviously, what this is just an icebreaker. What's one fun or surprising fact about science or nature that really fascinates or impresses you?
So, science for me is easy. A lot of people are like, well, how do you do this? But science for me is easy because I like to understand how things work, especially human body, living things, let's just say living things. And I found out as I learned and as I progressed that everything in nature is connected. We're connected to the trees, to the air, to the ground. And that's remarkable because that's when you understand that the creator, uh, somebody with infinite knowledge, was able to intertwine these small, tiny, minuscule cells and atoms and everything and put it all together so that somehow or the other, whether we know it or not, we are communicating with the grass and the trees and each other. You hear a lot of people say, well, I can feel the energy. That's communication, probably not what we used to, because you talk, you hug,
Right.
you shake hands, whatever. So I enjoy investigating
I love
and
that.
finding answers. Like, why does this happen? Well, how is this connected? So
Awesome. It is so awesome to have you on board on your Lane Talk Show. We want to get straight into it. I just want you to share with us. I want you to take us back to the beginning. Take us back to how you met your ex-husband and what was your relationship like in the early days before the abuse began?
So it wasn't long, maybe a month after. So I went to school in North Carolina, and maybe a month. First of all, just moving, never having been out the house. So if you look at the distance, physical distance, Kenya and North Carolina, that's 2 flights, and never physically having been out too far away from my parents, that in itself was a scary journey because now I'm by myself.
Yeah.
Like, you jump on a plane, go here, and then go to North Carolina, and I ended up arriving on a Sunday, not knowing, okay, where am I going? Who's coming to get me? No tangible information. And this is what, now that I think back to it now as we're talking, this helps me understand that even back then when I did not know who God really was, because I grew up as Hindu. When I did not know God really was, he was still there back in the day. So probably a month after, it was one of those, you pass somebody by and then they come back and they look for you.
Excuse me.
And then things just start. And in hindsight, there were a lot of red flags. There were a lot of red flags. But I think back then, I didn't know better. I think because I was so, I don't want to use the word sheltered, but kept so close to home. I didn't know better in terms of experiencing people outside the circle that my parents had us in.
So you met your husband in college?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's a Bahamian?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's good. So when we get back, we're going to talk about how all of this happened. Now, mind you, we only got 1 hour.
Yes.
So so all the little pretty talking and the little curves and stuff, we can minimize that so we can get straight to the point. You met him in college. You saw some red flags, but you ignored them,
Yes.
and you just wanted to ensure that whatever it is what he was saying, obviously you fell for it. So
Hook, line,
be
and sinker.
oh my goodness. So what we're gonna do real quick, right? We're gonna take a break, and then right after this break, we're gonna talk about what got you to stay hooked, what got you to stay sinkered and armored and anchored in to this Bahamian man. Because you an African,
Yes. Indian
an
from Africa.
Indian from Africa. Get hooked up with Bahamian man. My God. Is in the conch. We'll talk about that later. Let's take a break. We'll get right back to you right after these messages. I love it. There you go. I keep pushing the fact we only have an hour, right? I'm hoping that my production manager hears me uh, throwing shade every Sunday, but he's working it out for us, right? So we can get our hour and a half. But I still got to throw shade because as a Bahamian, that's what we do, right? All right, let's get back to it. So, let's talk about the fact that, hey, you met your Bahamian guy um, in university, and what happened? How you get hooked? What did he say to you? How did he approach you?
It was all I can say is there was a lot of words, a lot of words, and I guess it was different because I've never experienced that,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of different words. And then I was in school, so I really was focused on school.
Right.
But at the same time, it was like okay, and so time passed, and then we got to know each other, and honestly speaking, it was different then.
Mhm.
I don't know if that was just for show, if that
Mhm.
was something changed, but it was
Mhm.
different then. Um, and then after a while, then our first son was born, and me being
So hold on,
Indian.
hold on, hold on. You had a son in school.
Mhm.
Okay, for him.
Yes.
I tell y'all fast Bahamian. I was gonna say that. Get in trouble. Y'all fool with this nice Indian girl from Africa who ain't never been in no relationship. These Bahamian dudes need to stop their foolishness right now. Y'all need to stop it. You should see Wally doing his head like this. My God. So he come there, you in school,
Yes.
sweet talk you 2 seconds,
Yes.
and pop comes the baby.
Pop comes the baby.
My God. Go ahead.
So that's it. It had to be by God's grace because I
Mhm.
was able to not to not stop school
Mm.
because it's no joke. You have a baby and you got full-time classes. It is not a joke.
No.
So by God's grace, I was able to finish school, and then we got married in 2000, and then I moved here in 2003. So that was right after my master's degree.
Mhm, mhm.
It was one of those you gotta come home, you gotta come home, you gotta come home, or else, And at this point now, I'm married, I have a kid.
Mhm.
I'm seeing things, and I'm like, did I make a mistake? Did I make? But you're in it now, and
No good. I
my
just hold on.
Mhm.
What things you been seeing? Because you talk with red flags. Let me give me one or two little red flags
Okay,
for these young
kids.
folks out there who
Right.
think, yeah.
So it changed. As I got into my master's, it's like, well, you don't need to do that. What you doing that for? You don't need to do that. Ain't nobody gonna check all that out. And anyway, you ain't gonna get far with that, right? So I'm hearing this, and I'm like, what? But me being me,
Yeah.
I was like, whatever, I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
And then it was, oh well, you gotta come home now or else.
Come home now to the Bahamas.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or else. And I'm like, but we had this discussion. I told you, master's program is two and a half years.
Mhm.
And here's the thing. Here's the kicker. I got a scholarship for the full 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So what are we making noise about, right? And I have a part-time job, and I work on campus.
Mhm.
So I'm doing a full load, taking care of a kid, have a part. So what's all the fuss about? But anyway,
Mhm.
because I was like, I sat down. I'm like, okay, well, you got married, you have a child, now you're committed. So let's follow through. So
Mhm.
against every instinct inside of me, I left it all, and I drove down to Florida, hop, skip, and jump on I think we got on a boat to Freeport because I had some stuff, and then flew to Nassau. Wasn't even 5 months in, and this was a completely different person. And at this point, what do I do? I've left everything that I knew.
Mhm.
Home is too far away. There's nobody here that I know. So what do I do? So I guess instinct kicked in, and it's like, okay, you gotta dig in and just try and make it work.
So when was the first time you realized notice that first signs of verbal? Because he already done tell you it don't make no sense you starting. So we ready. You don't see that from then. But now that you're home, you have your baby. What were some of the signs, or what were some of the things that he was saying?
It started with, well, you don't get up early enough to cook breakfast, but you don't eat breakfast. Why am I cooking breakfast?
Mhm.
If I cook breakfast, it sits on the stove all day. Oh well, you need to get up at 5 o'clock and do this. Why? What give me? Because I'm a logical person. Tell me what this is for. I'll do it. I don't have no problem. Oh well, and then if I do cook, oh well, this looks like you're feeding the dog. You're feeding the dog. Okay, tell me what I did wrong. I don't have to tell you what you did wrong. You don't. No. Some of it, 90% of it didn't make sense to me, because if I come to you and say, hey, look, this is a problem, you're gonna ask me, well, where's the problem so I can fix it?
Yes.
There was no answer to the problem, and then it would be a whole week of that foolishness, and then the next 2 weeks would be, hey, fine and dandy, hey, you want to go out for dinner, you want to do this, you want to do that.
So he switches.
Yes. And my brain was so confused. And at the same time, like I said, we still had our first son. Um, and I had to keep it going. And then I found out I was pregnant with my second son in 2004. And so once that happened, I was like, oh my God. So that was a really tough pregnancy. And during that time, it got really, really, really bad. It's it's one thing that you have a kid, 3, 4, I think it was 4 years old at that point,
Mhm.
and then you're pregnant. Your hormones are all over
All
the
over the
place.
place, rocked.
You're stressed out because every other day it's something.
Mhm.
Oh, this isn't right. Oh, you don't. Oh, why aren't the clothes folded?
So he
Oh, why isn't
constantly
the floor mopped?
criticizes you.
But I'm working full time.
Mhm.
I'm pregnant. I'm taking care of my
The
first
son.
son. At the same time, you get up in the morning, you do all these things. You stay all day at school. I used to teach back then.
Mhm.
You stay all day at school. You come back home. You're running around. You got to cook dinner. Why isn't the floor mopped? I'm like, why don't you help? Oh, well, that's not my job. Okay, what? Oh, this food is not hot enough. It just, like, at that point, I went into survival mode.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, Hina, just be quiet, just do it. And it's not that I never used to say anything. It's just that when you're pregnant, you're tired.
Yeah.
And the
Jesus,
second
yes.
pregnancy took a lot. Like, I was sick for the first 3 months.
Mhm.
We had a hurricane. Remember, we had a hurricane, and he said, well, you need to come outside. The air is fresh. At this point, I'm laying in bed because I have morning sickness. Like, I'm sick. I can't eat anything. Oh, well, I don't know what you're making noise about. It's just the pregnancy. Like,
Oh,
bro.
well, you be pregnant then. You be pregnant for 9 months if it's just a pregnancy.
Bro.
Anyway, go ahead. Mhm.
Yeah, and then I remember one night, and this is the craziest. Like, this image is stuck in my head. I don't know what triggered the ruckus,
Mhm.
but it was about 10:30 in the night, and he came home, and something happened. I don't remember what happened, and that turned into him throwing a glass, actual glass. So from the kitchen to the living room,
Mhm.
throwing a glass at me. Right? I can't
You're still
remember.
pregnant.
I think I was 4 months in or something, 5 months in. And at that point, our first son was sleeping, but because of the ruckus, he woke up and he came on front.
Mhm.
And the glass broke. And at that point, I'm trying to move away. And somehow I ended up on the ground. And all I could feel was him kicking me, right? He kicked me in my stomach. And at that point, everything, and my first son was watching this. I remember him sitting there watching this. And I don't know how it stopped. I don't remember how it stopped. I tried to fight back, but at that point I was weak. I really physically,
Yeah.
I was weak. Everything inside of me wanted to fight back, but I physically did not have the strength. And then it stopped, and I left the house. I can't remember what happened after that. And then the next day, like right after the next day, it was like, hey, good morning. I was like, oh my God.
Yep, that's them. That's them.
And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. For those who may be experiencing anything like this, where your significant other may abuse you in any way. Remember, I listed a few forms of abuse: the physical, sexual, verbal abuse, financial abuse, and they do this, emotional abuse. They will do what they have to do, and then 2 seconds later or a couple hours later, they'll act like they're your best friends, like y'all been boys from then. You know what I mean? Like y'all play dominoes together, like nothing happened. All right. If you find yourself in a situation where you keep coming back or keep staying for whatever reason, seek help. I have to put a little pause there. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Ina.
And see, at that time, like I say, I was here, I was by myself.
What made you stay? What made you stay?
Honestly, mentally, I was not ready. And two, being pregnant, where am I going? Where am I going? Right? I can't call my mom and dad and say, hey, I'm coming back home, because this is not an option. Right?
Can I ask you a question? I don't know if you're able to share this. How supportive were your parents when you actually got married? Were they actually to the wedding? Where
No,
was the wedding?
no, they were not. And again, in hindsight, I see that that was a way, one of God's ways of trying to deter me from even going down this road,
Hmm.
right? You know, they say God uses people to talk to you. I
Yes.
didn't know that back then, but
Hmm.
now that I think about all of it, and they weren't. They were like, "Don't do it. You got to finish your studies. Don't do
Hmm.
it. Don't do
Hmm.
it." But you know, I did it. So that's why a lot of it also, I think, pointed to, well, I didn't listen to what people were telling me. I did this, so you know what? I turned on myself. It's like, you brought this on yourself. Now you got to deal with it. You know, you made your bed, deal with it. So that's, it wasn't what made me stay. It was, that's what happened internally. Something clicked in my brain. It's
Hmm.
like, okay, you got to deal with it. So now I started blaming myself. And I don't know, I guess adrenaline, whatever it is, your survival mechanism kicks in,
Yeah.
and you just deal with it. You get up every morning. I was to a point where I was in zombie mode. You know, you get up every morning, you do it, and you just keep going.
Yeah.
And then um my second son was born. Everything was fine for a bit, but he never used to sleep through the night. And
Hmm.
when I would wake him up to say, "Hey, can you just," because I still had to go back to work. Like after the 3 months, he still
Hmm.
wasn't sleeping through the night. I still had to go back to work. "Hey, can you help me, get up this, that?" "Oh, I have to go to work. I'm not doing it."
So he never supported you with the babies.
And then we had some friends over, and he had a dirty diaper. And the friend was like, "All right, that's your baby, go change the diaper." He said, "Oh, that's not my job. I'm a man."
Oh, oh,
Even the friend was like, "What?"
oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Let me just pause for a second just to read some of these comments. We have a comment on Facebook that says, notice she said she didn't listen to her heart from the beginning, right? So you actually had opportunities to run the next way, but you stayed.
Yeah.
Someone else says, oh, and there's a comment that says, an abusive story is never easy to listen to. I applaud your guess. Someone else says, I'm so sorry she had to endure this, sending so much love to her. So I just wanted to pause just to read a few of those messages on Facebook. But so you had baby number three now. Are you on baby
No,
number
that was
three?
number two.
It's number two. All right, so let's continue.
So
Hmm.
time passed, things were up and down. It progressively got worse because then drinking was introduced. Well, not introduced, it just got more and more.
This
So
is him
him
drinking, right?
drinking.
Hmm.
And then COVID hit. And well, let me roll back just a bit.
Hmm.
Before COVID hit, he was like, "Well, let's just go and have one more baby." And I was like, "Oh,
Hold on. This the one who didn't want to help you change pampers,
yes, yeah,
but he want to have another baby.
hmm
Go ahead.
just one more. Just let's go one more,
Uh-huh.
one more, one more."
Uh-huh.
Um, I guess because me thinking, okay, things were good for a while, and then I was also in the mindset that if I quote unquote behave,
Hmm.
he will change. You hear about this all the time, and while I was living it, to me it was like, this is normal behavior,
Yeah.
which is not. It's not normal behavior. So I was like, okay, cool, yeah. So that happened, and that it sounds bad, but surprisingly, that pregnancy wasn't as traumatic, but not physically, not traumatic, but verbally, it was a lot.
Yeah.
He got very verbal. Everything was a problem. Oh, you don't do this, or you don't do that. Oh, you're out of shape. I'm like,
Oh Lord.
and then at some point it was, oh, you're not really doing your duties as a woman.
Mm.
I'm I'm not feeling good. We're
Hmm.
but all of that, to hear all of that, and there's a lot of shouting and carrying on, and not so much physical this time, was more verbal.
Yeah.
Just, oh, you are this. Mind you, at this time I had a full-time job,
Yeah.
was taking care of two kids, was pregnant, and doing everything else in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, one day, 2 o'clock in the morning, I need you to make me a sandwich. Mind you, I just gone to bed at 12.
So you were sleeping. You were asleep.
Yes.
He woke you up
Yes.
to ask you
Yes.
to make a sandwich for him.
Yes.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
You pregnant?
Yes.
Okay.
So going through all of that, baby came. Um, and here's the kicker: the baby came, and we came home. And the next morning, so I literally just came home from giving birth. And the next morning, I was like, well, why isn't breakfast ready? I was like, well,
No.
I promise you, I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. I want grits, eggs. What was it? Grits, eggs, sausage,
Oh my goodness.
and tuna. So I was like, fine, watch the baby. I'll do it. I'm still in pain because the birth was difficult.
Mhm.
No, I'm not watching the baby. Thankfully, his sister was there because she stayed with me while,
To help you.
yeah.
Mhm.
And she said, anyway, I'll take the baby because when he showed up, she was tense too. So I'm assuming that this behavior she's used to,
Mhm.
even though they haven't made the breakfast. I don't know, the AC was too cold. This stupid stuff now.
Mhm.
Or the AC so cold. I started screaming and shouting because the AC was too cold. I'm like, bro, get up and turn it to whatever you want. What are you talking about?
Wow.
So now he's screaming about the AC. The baby's crying. The food is taking too long. The other kids are there just watching me and watching them. His sister closed the door because she had to.
Yeah, she
she
had
has
enough of
zero
y'all,
patience.
you
Yeah.
know?
So this me trying to hurry up, get the stuff together, do the breakfast, close the door. I sit down for 1 second to take a breather because now, my body
Anxiety.
physically
Yeah.
reacts
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
And it just was like, oh my God, what did you just do? Like I had to question myself. But then again, mentally I wasn't ready because all those years of just mentally being told what I am not
Yeah.
and just going through the whole process, I had broken down inside. My head
Yeah.
was dark.
Yeah.
It's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah.
It was dark. And so after the third one was born, and then I found I was pregnant with my
Girl.
the girl.
Mhm.
And that was 6 months into giving birth to the third one. I was like, I cried in that doctor's office. She's like, congratulations, you're pregnant, 6 months pregnant. I was like,
So let me ask you real quick, what was the specific turning point for you? That breaking moment that gave you the courage to walk away.
So one night, so now they're growing, they're about 2 years old. And
Yeah.
one night again, a ruckus broke out. He came home drunk. I had food on the stove, he was eating. And I used to help in the business.
Mhm.
So one comment, oh, you're stealing money from me. I'm like,
Oh.
what? Oh, well, X, Y, and Z client didn't send. I said, yes, because client said they're delayed. And this was towards the holidays,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I walked away. I was walking away. So let me tell you, I don't stay quiet. If you're going to accuse me about that, I'm telling you what I have to say. And I walked away.
Mhm.
And as I was walking away, so it's again in the front room, the couch, he's on the couch. I'm walking away to go to the back. The kids are standing on the other side. I'm walking away. I didn't hear him get up. At that point, the oldest son had moved out. So it was just the two babies and the second son.
Mhm.
And he somehow ended up behind me, grabbed my hair, turned me around, and was trying to choke me, I think. And all I could see was the two kids. Like my vision was on the two
And
kids.
they're watching.
And they're watching,
Mhm.
like my daughter is watching. She's watching. And so I had started working out and I was learning self-defense because at this point I'm like, okay, you got to inch yourself out of
Yeah.
this, right?
Yeah.
And so I fought back. And as I got away, all I saw was he's a size 12 foot.
Mhm.
I don't know how he did it, but he swiveled and his whole foot came into my chest.
Oh.
So on the left side.
Yeah.
Bam. Like I ended up on the floor,
Mhm.
right? All this time my eyes were on the kids.
Mhm.
And I'm watching the horror in my daughter. She's only what, two,
Mhm.
maybe three. I could see it. Um, I got up and I ended up having to fight him off of me. And they were still watching. And I got up and then I locked myself in the room
Mhm.
till he left. And then at that point the kids were crying. So that was it. That for me, it was like, you know what? It's time to get out. But then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So I'd served 2018 was when I first served the papers. I don't know whether this was divinely planned or what. My dad at that time was here. He just had come to stay with us for a bit.
Wow.
When he got served, by the time I came home, he was talking to my dad, boo-hooing about how he's the victim. Oh, you don't know, she's so difficult to live with, and she's
Oh.
right. And my dad comes to me. I was like, and but somehow my dad convinced me to give him one more chance, so I withdrew the application.
Oh. So I had to suck my teeth. I just go
No,
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
sucked my teeth too. I withdrew. I said, fine, dad, just to give my dad, because at this point I thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, fine, you're an outsider, you just being here, I can give you, oh well, try this, try that, whatever. So I withdrew it, and then COVID hit, and it just went. It got to the point where he did not care that he was having an affair with somebody on a different island, and they were calling each other while we're stuck in the house. Like, I don't know, like I have, like I'm stupid or something. And so at that point, I had converted. So that's the part I want to say. In 2017, I got confirmed, and I converted. With when my second son in the church, where they have the confirmation, and you convert.
Yeah.
So the priest said, come to confirmation classes, then you get baptized, and that was for me. For him, it was just confirmation.
Yeah.
And so I went through that whole exercise, and I was in zombie mode. Nobody, if you looked at my face at that point, you would think someone's forcing me to do this. I had no strength. I had no energy. I did not want to sit through the classes. I was depressed.
Yeah.
Right. But I went through it. And at that point, I slowly started understanding who God is.
That's actually what I was going to ask you next. Like, when did your faith kick in to knowing who? Because you said you came from a Hindu home, right?
And I didn't understand the Hindu religion. Yeah. Honestly, it was always something inside of me was like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Because I'm looking for purpose. I'm looking for what is it? If I have a question, give me an answer. The Hindu religion doesn't give you answers, just gives you these circular Latin style sayings. And you're like, what does that mean? Oh, we don't know. Just take it. This is no, I need to understand what's happening. So at that point, I wasn't, really close to God in that knowing.
Yeah.
But at that point, I started to understand. I came across some of the TV church folks.
Yeah.
In particular, Lakewood Church just popped up on my screen one day when I was really, really having a bad night. 2:00 in the morning, I was just having a horrible night, and I was flipping through the channels. Came up, and I started watching that, and I started learning, and there's hope, there's love, there's protection, and slowly, because I really honestly never really opened my Bible, because I'm like, I don't understand these words. I don't know what this means. Well, what is this telling me? And then how the Bible has the different chapters. It's just, all over the place. In my darkness, I needed one message. Don't give me 67 messages. I'm not understanding that. Give me one, something to hold on to.
Yeah.
And at that night, I can't remember what the sermon was, but it lit something inside of me. It gave me a weird kind of supernatural strength.
Yeah.
And from that on, it was like, okay, we're going to learn. And I think through different experiences, everyday experiences, I understood that, what, God is here.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. Like, I felt the difference inside of me when my first son got into a car crash. So he apparently had a seizure. I got a phone call. Oh, your son fell off the wall. What? Like, what does this mean? Oh, we got an ambulance. He has a concussion. How do you get a concussion from falling off a wall? What the officer neglected to mention was he was in a car accident. He had a seizure. He ran into the back of a Jeep. So he had a crack in the top of his head, internal, and he broke half a bone in the back of his neck. I didn't know what I was going to expect. And this was right COVID. That. Yes.
You did, yeah. Wow. So as we got to talk after this break, but I want to stay focused on, like, how did you finally leave? Because the first time you already sent him the notice, and then your dad talk you into staying, and then you then been through the torture all over again.
Yep.
In the midst of all of that, you found God,
Yes.
and you were able to get answers to questions that the hope,
Mm-hmm.
the endurance, and how to stay and stick, with your life.
Right.
And so now when we actually get back off of this break, I want you to tell us, when did you finally leave? And of course, how was the healing process for you while you left,
Okay.
during your
Yeah.
time away? All right. So let's take a break real quick. And then when we come back, we get those answers. Love it.
laundry and kill 99.9% of bacteria. It can be used on most washable fabrics, including baby clothes, gym clothes, undergarments, towels, bedding, and delicates. Available in sport, free and clear, and crisp linen. Washing your clothes is good. Sanitizing them is better. Lysol, what it takes to protect. Now available at your favorite store.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging.
Welcome back, y'all. We got like 9 minutes, so we're gonna try to wrap this up as soon as we possibly can. But Hina, come talk to us about how you finally say, you know what, enough is enough. I gotta go. Tell us that, and then tell us the journey of your emotions, like what all the healing process you had to go through to get to this point where you are now.
Right. So that was COVID was there, and then 2022 February, when we were finally, open for business, starting to open for business. It was the end of that because he came into town one big ruckus later. I mean, this was some crazy stuff. He involved all his friends and stuff because in his mind it was, oh, you're cheating. Okay, whatever. So I finally filed. I filed in March. And here's the really sneaky part of it. He found out and he contacted the lawyer that I was using. The lawyer was like, your ex called me. How did you get my number? I was like, I don't know. Because I guess he knows people anyway. So I was like, it took a while because the courts were closed. And then finally he got served in September of 2022. And let me tell you, back then it felt like, oh my God, it felt so, impatience is not the word. It just felt like, when is this going to happen? Because now you're desperate now. I've done this. Is he going to escalate? Is he going to? So I have fear, anxiety, anger, just always looking over my shoulder. What's going to happen? I wasn't sleeping well at night because what if I get attacked at night? All kinds of thoughts. But anyway, God's timing is God's timing. And so we went ahead and the process was served, or the people, whatever, that was served in September, as soon as that paper was served. So I wasn't working because, again, COVID, and then the job I had, the office closed, so all the persons hired got laid off in December of 2017. So from 2018 onwards, I was helping in the business. And mind you, I got really good at it, so the business soared. As soon as that happened, he closed the accounts. He had not closed the accounts. He took my name off the account.
Is that possible though? Don't you have to come in and sign or something like that? There's nothing. He could just come there and just.
I was naive enough to say, you know what? I don't need any paperwork or anything. So he just told the bank, and he knows people. So he told the bank.
Oh.
And this is where God's grace stepped in, because the day he shut that down was the next day I got called to start at a job.
Praise the Lord. Devil, you don't stop no show right here. So how has it been for you? So did you pack up and take the kids and you went somewhere else?
Where am I going? No, nobody left. Nobody left.
So you served him the divorce papers and y'all were still in the house together?
I wasn't. Where was I going with two babies? And so he said he wasn't going, and there was enough room where I could be in one room, he could be in the next. But of course, the terrorizing never stopped. But I did, I got stronger physically. I was able to hold my ground. And as time went on, the girl he was seeing back then, I guess and again, this is why I say God moves in weird ways, because I think God used her to move him out the house, because she said to him she wasn't comfortable with him staying in the house right. So he packed up one day. I came home and he was gone. I was like, hallelujah, praise the Lord.
I love it.
At that time, peace came on the house.
I can imagine.
A different me. So the anxiety went away. The anger was still there. Because I was thinking, oh, unfair, blah, blah, blah. But along the way, I learned how to let it go. That's the hardest thing.
That's what I want to know, because you have some women who go through situations like this, and the last thing that goes is that forgiveness. Like they battle with forgiveness. Can I ask you today, Hina, between me and you right now on this is August 10th, 2025, it's 4:56. Have you forgiven your ex?
I'm pretty sure. Up to 2 weeks ago, I hadn't, but today, as I was coming here, I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I don't feel anything. I don't feel. I just feel sorry for him, but I don't feel the rage that I used to feel. And that was the hardest thing to get rid of.
Yeah.
That was
I can
it was
imagine
tough.
because the forgiveness is always that last thing. So, real quick, you got 1 minute. I want to ask you, what message would you share with someone listening right now who feels trapped in an abusive relationship?
God is there with you, but you have to hold on to Him. The process is long. I can't even tell you how dark you feel sometimes, but the process is long. And what got me through, I would listen to sermons all the time. I had YouTube. Oh my gosh, just very specific. And like I say, Lakewood Church helped me a lot. And then I would just listen to songs that calm my mind and believe that when the time is right, it's time to go when the time is right. And so now I go with the flow. I don't like it. I want results tomorrow. To be very honest, I if God gave me results in the next 20 minutes, I'd be happy, but that's not the plan. So you wait and you just hold on, you find the smallest thing to hold on to.
Yeah.
In real life, what does that look like? Your children. It may look like just getting up every day. Hey, today something good is going to happen. And I had to train my brain. I had to come out of survival mentality into thriving mentality. It's a long process.
Yeah.
It's you have to do it. It's not pretty at all. But
Yeah.
slowly but surely the darkness goes away. And now people ask me, well, what you smiling about? Because I walk around with a smile on my face. What are you smiling about? I'm like, that's God is good.
My God. God is good.
Is a weird peace. I feel a weird peace inside.
I love that.
Nobody understands it. They're like, well,
That's that joy. It's
Yes.
you can't explain it.
Yeah.
It's unexplainable. Family, there's something powerful about knowing that in our darkest moments, most painful moments, God is not distant. God wasn't distant with Hina from day one. Even while she was in her family's home where they practice Hindu, God's hand and fingerprints were on her. He is close, and He's close to you as well. When abuse breaks your body and words crush your spirit, it can feel like you've been abandoned. But the word tells us that He is near to the brokenhearted. He said He will never leave us, nor will He forsake us. He doesn't just watch your pain, He steps into it. And He doesn't just watch you cry. He literally holds those tears and bottles them up. My guest today is living proof of this truth. She walked through abuse that should have destroyed her, but God stepped in as her protector, deliverer, and restorer her. She's walking around with joy, unspeakable joy, and that can happen and can be for you as well. But can I please admonish you to go ahead and seek help for those who can actually resonate with what she is saying? Go and seek help. Do not stay in it. Just because they're acting nice one day doesn't mean that they're not going to continue to do it the next day. Domestic abuse is never just about a single act or anger or frustration. It is a continuous process, and you don't want to have to go through that. Okay, it's a pattern of control. So you don't want to get involved with that. All right. So I'm heading out now, but I want to thank you so much for tuning into Your Lane Talk Show. Thank you so much, Hina, for being brave. Thank you to my audience, and thank you to our sponsors, Your Lane Life Coaching, John Shoe Store and Accessories, Emmanuel Medical Center, Airwick, distributed by Thompson Trading, Lysol, distributed by Thompson Trading, and Tropical Gyros. And so I want you all to have a wonderful Sunday. Be blessed, and we'll see you next week Sunday. Won't He do it?
Yes, He will.
Yes, He will. Bye-bye.